Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about codependence. And specifically, I'm going to talk about something that is a part of codependent relationships, and that is what I would call the highs and the lows of codependent relationships. And when I say highs and lows, I'm talking about the emotional highs and lows, the peaks and the valleys, the amazing times and the really, really difficult bad times that come with being in a codependent relationship. Now, let's start with the highs. When we talk about the highs of a codependent relationship, we're not just talking about a good day or a good week. We're not just talking about having a really great date. We are talking about an emotional moment of connection that feels like it is just complete bliss. It feels like there is sheer and utter connectedness, like all of the pain and the turmoil that you sometimes have in the relationship was worth it because this high, this connection, this peak in this relationship is all worth it. There are incredible highs that come with codependent relationships. And in fact, it is those highs, those peaks that keep people in them. Well, not only are there highs, but there are also lows. And anyone who is in a codependent relationship now knows exactly what I'm talking about, or anyone who's ever been in one understands too. The lows that come with codependent relationships. And the lows, when you're in such a point, you can feel so isolated. You can feel so alone. You can feel like you are miles apart from the person that you're in the relationship with, even if they are right there. You can feel completely misunderstood and question who the other person really even is. Sometimes you may tell yourself things like, am I cursed to be unhappy? Am I cursed to be attracted to people who are bad for me? So the lows that come with codependent relationships can be really low, the highs and the lows. Okay. So if we were to think about what is the best sort of symbolic representation of what a codependent relationship looks like, picture a theme park. Okay. Picture a theme park and picture rides at a theme park. And I know you probably thought of the same thing that most other people would, which is picturing a roller coaster. And a roller coaster is the best way to kind of symbolize what a codependent relationship can feel like. It can feel like riding the highs and the lows. You never know what's coming around that next curve. It could be exhilarating, or it could be incredibly emotionally painful and lonely. You never really know. So, there's a couple of additional points that I want to focus on when it comes to the highs and lows of a codependent relationship. And one is just how much energy a codependent relationship requires, how much physical and emotional energy these relationships can take up in your life. Sometimes just surviving the relationship, just getting through, trying to have conversations and get the other person to understand, or trying to really strain and trying to understand what they're feeling or what they're thinking. All the hours spent trying to figure out the other person. Oh my gosh, figuring out the other person. That is part and parcel of being in a codependent relationship, trying to figure out what they're thinking, what they need. If only you could do this or you could do that, then finally they would be better. Finally, you could feel more connected. Finally, maybe the two of you could have a little peace in this relationship. That's sort of how the thinking goes. So the energy required is incredible for a codependent relationship. It is truly incredible. People in codependent relationships can feel physically exhausted at times just because of the relationship. Just because of the relationship, some of the long talks, some of the crying sessions, some of the frustrated moments, all of it can feel physically exhausting. It can also feel emotionally exhausting. So, the highs and the lows of a codependent relationship, boy, when times are good, they're good. They can feel really, really, really good. But at the end of the day, it's important to take a step back and say, Is a romantic relationship supposed to be as exhausting as a pattern that this relationship is? It's really something that you've got to think about. The second thing that I want to talk about is this, and that's sometimes people in codependent relationships make the mistake of telling themselves that this is the cost of real love. They may tell themselves something like this: well, no, I know we have our bad times. I know I don't like the lows. I don't like the difficult times. I don't like the emotional hurt or the emotional pain, but it's worth it because this love is real. I know they love me more than anyone else ever will love me, and I love them more than anyone else I could ever love. Or this is another thing people will say: well, we really know each other. It may be unhealthy, but he really knows me or she really knows me. Okay, all of that may be true, but taking a step back, it's really valuable to think about this question: is this the purpose of a romantic relationship when, as a pattern, you have so many lows, so many valleys in the relationship? Or, as I always like to say, is a purpose of a romantic relationship to bring you a sense of comfort and security? Yes, there will be difficult times in a romantic relationship. That's a part of having long term relationships. But there doesn't need to be a pattern of emotional pain. There really just simply doesn't need to be. So I hope this video has been helpful, something to think about. Check out other videos I've got on codependent relationships and also just relationships in general. Hopefully, there's something here that can be helpful for you. You can also subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. That way, you'll be notified of new videos as they become available. You can follow me on Instagram, Insight Dr. Seth. And I have an actual podcast where I go deeper on a lot of these human behavior issues to help us all improve our lives, understand ourselves and each other better. Have a good one, everybody.